You can start. Go ahead.
Okay, so 65 basically makes reference to debts and the important debt levels of some countries, and yeah, the need to address the debts and to acknowledge. I don't know. You want me to read it or basically make a brief reference because you haven't.
Make your reference. Look, this is what I'm going to read from the Farsi. I highlighted parts.
Okay.
If you have it up in front of you, read from what you have.
What I have is this, they acknowledge that there is, a very significant debt, high debts in some countries, and that it's important that this topic is addressed by the BRICS countries because it implies it is, challenges in developing and there is a need to address international debt properly and in a holistic manner to support economic recovery and sustainable development, taking into account each nation's laws and internal procedures, accompanied by sustainable external account. And the main thing that they think in this paragraph is that they recognize the need to address in an effective, comprehensive, and systematic manner the debt vulnerabilities of both low and middle income countries. One of the instruments, among others, is to collectively address debt vulnerabilities through predictable, orderly, timely, and coordinated implementation of the G20 Common Framework for Debt Treatment with the participation of official bilateral creditors, private creditors, and multilateral development banks, in line with the principle of joint action and fair burden sharing, and said that BRICS remain engaged in enhancing coordination between debtors and official bilateral, multilaterals, and private creditors to help emerging markets and developing economies address debt issues in a fair and constructive way from a development perspective. So what is very significant because, debts in in emerging countries, they don't use third world or developing, they say emerging countries and emerging economies, is this holistic approach and having involved in the discussion the debitors and the creditors, and having this perspective of developing, as a principle. So I think that this is what I would rescue mainly from that paragraph.
Okay, well, they can ask, but they don't have a way of enforcing it. That's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a feeling that G7 is going to override whatever G20 is doing. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
G7 is meant to disappear. They all are very weak and becoming more irrelevant. This is the importance of BRICS.
France, Germany,
They have a heavier weight in terms of the amount of population and countries and the importance of the economic sectors that are involved. Yeah, I mean, it's not that they're going to disappear then from one day to another, the importance of the pressure of the
They're the major colonialist, G7.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but they're losing power because
power. That's what
Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United States, United Kingdom.
Yeah, but they are going down, and
I mean, they also have huge debts. I mean, the U.S. has an enormous debt, as is known, So it's a very particular situation we're facing in the world, and to have a group of this importance, having a totally different approach and call with, invoking mechanisms that they have already mentioned or agreed to, so it's like using their own language or narrative to really make it applicable to many other countries, can create a different, perspective. Yeah.
Okay, let me read the Farsi part. Highlights. ما یادآور میشویم که سطوح بالای بدهی در بعضی کشورها باعث شوک‌های خارجی به ویژه نوسانات در سیاست‌های مالی و پولی در اقتصادهای پیشرفته تاثیرگذار شده روی کشورهای در حال توسعه. نرخ‌های بهره بالا، شرایط تامین مالی سخت‌تر، آسیب پذیری در بسیاری کشورها رو بدتر میکنه. ما معتقدیم رسیدگی به بدهی بین المللی برای حمایت از توسعه پایدار ضروری است. ما لزوم رسیدگی مؤثر، جامع و سیستماتیک با آسیب پذیرهای بدهی کشورهای کم درآمد متوسط را به رسمیت میشناسیم. یکی از ابزارها در میان سایرین برای رسیدگی جمعی با آسیب پذیری‌های بدهی از طریق اجرای قابل پیشبینی، منظم و به موقع و هماهنگ چارچوب مشترک G20 برای مدیریت بدهی با مشارکت وام دهندگان دولتی و خصوصی و بانک‌های توسعه چند جانبه MDBs تقسیم بار عادلانه است. ما همچنان در حال افزایش هماهنگی بین بدهکاران و وام دهندگان هستیم تا به بازارهای نوظهور و اقتصادهای در حال توسعه کمک کنیم تا مسئله بدهی رو به روشی عادلانه و سازنده از دیدگاه توسعه‌ای حل و فصل کنیم. Okay. 66.
So I'm in 65. I don't know. 60. Next is 66. Yes. Okay. It refers to the role of data, innovation, interoperability, and data governance, recognizing the importance of data for modern life as a catalyst for innovation-driven development and the formulation of informed and inclusive public policies. So they reaffirm the need for a common and principle-based interoperable framework on data governance, including respect for national data sovereignty, efficient, convenient, safe, and mutually agreed cross-border data flows, and ethical use of data to address the principle of collection, recording, storage, organization, processing, and transfer of data. And then this inter-countries interoperability seems, of national data policy regulations. And then they welcome the conclusion of the BRICS data economic governance understanding. So clearly they have been efforts to have understanding among the BRICS countries to have to deal with this as a roadmap to leverage the data economy across BRICS in order to promote safe access to technology, safeguard individual and national interests, promote the digitalization of industry and services, expansion of intra-BRICS trade. So it's something that is foreseen for transparency among them, for cooperation in the data exchange, and also to increase innovation in trade.
Okay. 66 in Farsi is راجبه داده ها یا دیتا ترانسفر دیتا شامل احترام به حاکمیت داده ملی، جریان‌های داده فرامرزی، اینا یعنی دیتا، national data and international data، راحت، ایمن و متقابل توافق شده و استفاده اخلاقی از داده ها برای پرداختن به اصول جمع‌آوری، ثبت، ذخیره شامل حریم خصوصی فردی، توزیع منافع پولی غیر پولی، داده ها در میان کشورهای در حال توسعه و شهروندان آنها مجددا تاکید میکنیم. تفاهم حکمرانی اقتصاد داده بریکس به عنوان نقشه راه برای بهره‌برداری از اقتصاد داده در سراسر بریکس به منظور ترویج درستی ایمن به فناوری و گسترش تجارت درون بریکس استقبال میکنیم. پس اینم یک ساب گروپ دیگه است راجع به دیتا، sharing of data for the market economy among BRICS nations is another subgroup. Okay, 67, Adelia.
67 is on e-commerce, global markets, small value products trade. It says we emphasize that e-commerce has become an important driver of global economic growth, fostering international trade in goods and services, ensuring foreign investment flows, and facilitating innovation. We are resolved to further increase trust in e-commerce and ensure full-fledged protection of the rights of e-commerce parties by intensifying cooperation in the realms of utilizing digital technologies for consumers' rights protection, exploring online dispute resolution tools, and creating enabling environments for businesses to enter global markets, exchanging views on the issue of small value products trade through the cross-border e-commerce. Again, they need among the BRICS regulations and also dispute resolution and to increase trust in this type of commerce.
I feel like they take one topic and then they use like 6-7 items on that topic. So we've been on data.
And also they connected with parallel discussions and documents and agreements that have taken place. So it's very interesting the way it's done, because even though in this Brazil meeting, many of the big leaders were not there, it is very clear that there has been a lot of work going on among high level and an important reference to other documents from UN or regional efforts.
And all of
It's not like that they are inventing it, but they are applying principles and taking the best of many discussions that have taken place. Yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of subgroups. I am yet to see one on women, although there was
I was going to mention that, but we'll get there.
There was an article in the BRICS page about women's participation in economy, and some lady was talking. I hope that turns into a working group and we can participate.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 67 is 67.
That was it. Okay, 60.
ما تاکید میکنیم تجارت الکترونیک به یک محرک مهم اقتصاد جهانی تبدیل شده. ما مصمم هستیم که اعتماد به تجارت الکترونیک رو بیشتر افزایش دهیم. تجارت محصولات با ارزش کوچک از طریق تجارت الکترونیک فرامرزی رو تضمین کنیم. تبادل نظر رو در مورد اینها تضمین کنیم. Okay. Back to you, 68.
You're done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we move now to 68, special economic zones as a mechanism for trade and industrial cooperation and job creation. I would title that paragraph. So it refers to this, we continue to recognize the effectiveness of the special economic zones or the BRICS as a well-established mechanism for trade and industrial cooperation and the facilitation of manufacturing, including those but not limited to high-tech sectors of the economy, IT and IT-enabled services, tourism, ports, and transportation infrastructure. development and commercialization of technologies, as well as for the production of new types of value-added products. We also acknowledge that special economic zones provide immense opportunities for encouraging additional investment in priority areas of economic development and recognize the potential of a special economic zone as a tool to stimulate economic growth and create new job opportunities, especially but not limited to in high tech and infrastructure sectors. It's very interesting also, they mention, not with much emphasis, but tourism and these special zones, to promote jobs. And I was wondering, is like if Cuba, for instance, has always been very important for tourism, it has a very, huge economic challenges because of all the sanctions that he has been, maybe stimulating investment in that, for, job opportunities. And eventually, because there is a large, well-educated population with a lot of challenges in terms of energy, but they could use this educated population for high technology development. They have a lot of engineers, doctors. So
Yep.
it could be not only, that would be in our region, but in many places of Africa, they have a lot of very well-educated in India, but we're very important challenges, and maybe, this is a mechanism to put, to strengthen possibilities for job opportunities in those part of the world. So it's an interesting thing, with this kind of principles of ideas.
Yeah.
That it's just similar, but with significant differences. What we have here as the free zone places in Latin America, because it involves a huge tax exemptions for big companies with the excuse of giving jobs, but a lot of the money is taken away and is not a commitment to development in the zone. So this is similar but a different approach, and it's interesting how they take some ideas from all ways of doing things, but yeah, within the framework of BRICS can be different, hopefully, yeah.
And there is no designation. Where are these areas?
No, it just says,
Like,
where they can have
Middle
potential for
East,
this.
Central America. Where are these zones?
It doesn't say,
No.
but it
Okay.
says that it's an important mechanism for that sort of thing, so it's.
Yeah.
اوکی اثر بخشی مناطق ویژه اقتصادی SEZs کشورهای بریکس به عنوان یک سازوکار تثبیت شده برای همکاری‌های تجاری، صنعتی، تاثیر تولید و فناوری پیشرفته اقتصادی، اطلاعاتی و غیره و غیره، حمل و نقل رو اینها به رسمیت میشناسیم. همچنین اذعان داریم که مناطق ویژه اقتصادی فرصت‌های عظیمی برای تشویق سرمایه‌گذاری‌های اضافی در مناطق اولویت دار توسعه اقتصادی فراهم می‌کنند. پتانسیل SEZs را به عنوان ابزاری برای تحریک رشد اقتصادی و ایجاد فرصت‌های شغلی به رسمیت می‌شناسیم. Okay.
Okay, 79. Now it's like a 69, I'm sorry. It continues sort of weaving into a new topic, which is food production, food security,
Right.
nutrition, and sustainability. So it says we recognize that BRICS countries are key players in world food production, and as such have a critical role in enhancing agricultural productivity and sustainability and ensuring global food security and nutrition. We also recognize that family farmers, including smallholders, pastoralists, artisanal and small-scale fishers, and aquaculture producers, indigenous peoples, in local communities, women and youth, are essential stakeholders of agriculture and food systems. We welcome ongoing efforts to promote sustainability, inclusivity, and equitable market access in the global sustainable vegetable oil sector. We call for continued collaboration among BRICS countries and partners to support smallholder farmers, ensure fair pricing, and foster resilient and sustainable agricultural value chains. We recognize that mechanization and technological innovation in small-scale agriculture, including information and digital innovation, and strategic opportunities for reducing the drudgery of work, increasing productivity and income, enhancing resilience, and accelerating the sustainable transition. So this is, I don't know, you want to comment on this? But it's interesting that it really tries to have a very encompassing inclusion of groups that, they're having some policies and facilitation for innovation with digital support and credit and access to technology can help the production and also to make it attractive because, for youth, many times work in agriculture is not very attractive. So this seems to have all of that into account.
Okay. So I'm going to read the Farsi part. ما از آن داریم که کشورهای بریکس بازیگران کلیدی در تولید مواد غذایی در جهان هستند و نقش مهمی در پایداری کشاورزی و تضمین امنیت غذایی دنیا دارند که این شامل کشاورزان خانوادگی، خرده‌مالکان، دامداران، ماهیگیران، تولیدکنندگان آبزی پروری در مقیاس کوچک سنتی، زنان، جوانان و تمام اینها میشه. ما از تلاش‌های جاری برای دسترسی عادلانه بازار جهان روغن‌های گیاهی پایدار استقبال می‌کنیم. خواستار همکاری مستمر بین کشور بریکس و شرکای برای حمایت از کشاورزان خرده‌مالک تضمین قیمت‌گذاری عادلانه هستیم. اذعان داریم که مکانیزاسیون و نوآوری تکنولوژی در کشاورزی در مقیاس کوچک از جمله اطلاعات و دیجیتال فرصت‌های راهبردی برای کاهش سختی کار و تسریع در انتقال پایدار هستند. Okay, so I saw a video that was interesting. It was introducing the existing BRICS members and those who have applications in, but for each one of them was calling out their GDP, their main product export, their main need for import. I think it would be really interesting to make a chart that who can exchange what with who among the BRICS members without having to deal with the US or West or anything.
I'm sure it's been done already. So
I know, but I know they don't share with us their working mechanism. I would really like to see that.
Probably they have it. It would be
It
interesting
was
to
kind
find
of
out.
uneven because China and Russia have a lot of technical capabilities, and then there's other ones. Some have grain, some have, they have much less. So I don't know how they're going to be balancing
Disparities,
this.
Yeah. It's a huge topic, and I hope and I suppose they're addressing it because that's how they have managed to deal with grains and exchanges. Yeah, I know that, for instance, Iran, which country? One of these countries provide a lot of. India, a lot of agricultural products to the others, and there is this kind of exchange instead of currency, they have this kind of, the value or the different things. The 70th topic is, if I had to put a label, it would be mitigating the impact of food price volatility, response to emergencies. But also I'd like to emphasize that they refer not just to food security, but also to nutrition, which is very important because many times international narrative, there is a lot of talk about food security, which seems to be key for some manufacturers, but they don't care about the nutrition or whether they're poisoning people, although theoretically feeding. So I like the fact that they expressly talk about nutrition. So here it says we emphasize the importance of ensuring food security and nutrition and mitigating the impact of acute food price volatility, as well as the abrupt supply crisis, including fertilizer shortage. In this regard, we acknowledge the importance of continued elaboration of the initiative to establish a grain trading platform within BRICS. They call it the BRICS Grain Exchange. So it's been going on, okay? And its subsequent development and expanding into other agricultural products and commodities. We support further discussion on national policies and on international coordination that enhance food availability, accessibility, utilization, stability, and affordability, as well as the relevant agricultural and food production inputs in BRICS and other developing countries, including those that strengthen national capacities to respond to supply disruptions, such as national food reserve systems. Under exceptional circumstances of supply shortage or acute food price spikes affecting a BRICS member, we recognize that cooperation initiatives can facilitate emergency responses in natural disaster management, guided by natural priorities and consistent with the World Trade Organization rules. None of these measures should lead to unfair trade practices or violation of international trade norms, as their sole purpose is to support food security and nutrition, including through international solidarity. So we recognize the importance of reducing food loss and waste and ensuring animal and plant health through joint prevention and control of dangerous diseases and pests, including by increasing transparency in the movement of food and feed with an unified electronic certification system for animal and plant products as an important tool.
Okay, so translation is ما به اهمیت تضمین امنیت غذایی و تغذیه همچنین بحران‌های ناگهانی عرضه از جمله کمبود کود که حالا داره نقطه‌ای اشاره میکنه، کمبود کود تاکید میکنیم. در این راستا ما اهمیت ادامه تدوین ابتکار ایجاد یک پلتفرم تجارت غلات در بریکس را بورس غلات بریکس و توسعه متعاقب آن و گسترش آن در سایر کالاها محصولات و کالاهای کشاورزی را به رسمیت میشناسیم. ابتکار ایجاد یعنی که وجود نداره ولی داره پیشنهاد میکنه که باید این کارو بکنیم، بورس غلات بریکس به وجود بیاریم. ما از بحث‌های بیشتر در مورد سیاست اقتصادی در شرایط استثنایی کمبود عرضه یا افزایش شدید قیمت مواد غذایی که بر یک عضو بریکس تاثیر میگذارد، ما اذعان داریم که ابتکارات همکاری میتواند پاسخ‌های اضطراری مدیریت بلایای طبیعی را تسهیل کند. تنها هدف آنها حمایت از امنیت غذایی و تغذیه از جمله از طریق همبستگی بین‌المللی است. یعنی این باعث نشه که شیوه‌های ناعادلانه تجاری به وجود بیاد در حالی که یک کشوری مثلا صدمه دیده از حالت طبیعی. با اهمیت کاهش ضایعات مواد غذایی، پیشگیری و کنترل مشترک بیماری‌ها و آفات خطرناک را با شفافیت، با یک سیستم گواهی الکترونیکی واحد برای محصولات دامی گیاهی به عنوان ابزاری مهم به رسمیت میشناسیم. Okay. You have to share this data about sicknesses and whatnot.
Okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah, continue. 71.
71, I would title is Cooperation in Agriculture, Fisheries, Aquaculture, Sustainability and Rural Development, Technologies and Innovation to Eliminate Hunger, Malnutrition and Poverty. And they continue on the topic of building on the Deccan high-level principle of food security and nutrition. They say they also recognize the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty as an important initiative to promote international cooperation. They say they also look forward to advanced discussion on facilitating intra-BRICS trade of agricultural products, agricultural and food production inputs, and improved value chains and sustainable agricultural practices. They said they reaffirmed the need to develop a fair agricultural trading system and implement resilient and sustainable agriculture. They commit to minimize disruption and promote rules-based trade in agriculture and fertilizer with the view to ensure a continuous flow of food and essential inputs for agricultural production, which should be exempted from undue restrictive economic measures inconsistent with the World Trade Organization rules, including those affecting producers and exporters of agricultural products, as well as business services with regard to international shipments. They welcome the launch of the BRICS Partnership for Land Restoration in line with the framework of the United Nations, I don't know, some kind of convention there. I think it's commerce and the first BRICS AWG report, which I'm not sure what it stands for. Does anybody know? AWG report on the contribution to implementing the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty.
Okay. این فارسی ما خواستار همکاری بیشتر در کشاورزی شیلات و آبزی. It was 71, right?
Yes.
Okay. کشاورزی شیلات آبزی پروری به منظور پایان دادن به گرسنگی، از بین بردن تمامی اشکال سوء تغذیه و ریشه‌کن کردن فقر هستیم. با تکیه بر اصول عالی دکن در مورد امنیت غذایی و تغذیه، ما همچنین اتحاد جهانی علیه گرسنگی و فقر را به عنوان یک ابتکار مهم میشناسیم. مشتاقانه منتظر پیشبرد بحث‌ها در مورد تسهیل تجارت درون بریکس محصولات کشاورزی هستیم. ما از راه‌اندازی شرکت بریکس برای احیای زمین مطابق با چارچوب UNCCD Revitalization of the Earth، کنوانسیون سازمان ملل متحد برای مبارزه با بیابانزایی و اولین گزارش گروه کاری کشاورزی بریکس در مورد مشارکت‌ها در اجرای اتحاد جهانی علیه گرسنگی و فقر استقبال می‌کنیم. So there is a group for revitalizing the earth and fighting desert
Desertification.
Desertification, yeah.
Yeah, that probably is that the United Nations Convention for something in desertification. Okay, so I move to 72.
Yeah.
Okay, that deals with commitment to advance and develop cooperation in competition law, markets, effective combating anti-competitive cross-border practices, BRICS International Competition Law and Policy Center, and the creation and sharing of knowledge. So it goes, they reaffirm their commitment to further advance and develop cooperation in the field of competition law and policy among BRICS countries with a view to contribute to sustainable development of markets, effective combating anti-competitive cross-border practices, promoting healthy market environment. They acknowledge the role of the BRICS International Competition Law and Policy Center. Again, they've been already working on this. And their activities in knowledge creation and knowledge exchange, sharing among BRICS competition authorities, and the importance to ensure the most favorable conditions for the competition law development of BRICS economies and work toward the elimination of monopoly barriers in socially important markets. They welcome the holding of the 9th BRICS International Competition Conference in 2025 in South Africa. So it seems to be a major topic that they've been working and will continue to work on. So basically it's to ensure policies and to avoid monopolies and any bad business trade behavior.
Okay. 72 تعهد خود را به پیشبرد و توسعه همکاری در زمین قوانین و سیاست‌های رقابتی بین کشورهای بریکس، مبارزه موثر با اقدامات ضد رقابتی فرامرزی، ترویج محیط بازار سالم تایید می‌کنیم. نقش فعالیت‌های مرکز بین‌المللی قوانین و سیاست‌های رقابتی بریکس رو بهش اهمیت به رسمیت میشناسیم و ما از برگزاری 9مین کنفرانس بین‌المللی رقابت بریکس در سال 2025 در آفریقای جنوبی استقبال میکنیم. Okay. 73. Anybody has anything to say?
Okay, 73 refers to standardization bodies, to having the BRIC national standardization bodies. And there is a reference to the Brasilia Declaration of the Meeting of Heads of BRICS. For that purpose, national standardization bodies, which acknowledge the significant benefits of cooperation in that field, including the facilitation of economic relations and trade, the advancement of consumer safety, and the promotion of sustainable development. They encourage the timely conclusion of the negotiation of the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the field of standardization as the next milestone toward fostering standardization and metrology as effective tool to help eliminate barriers to trade and facilitate the cross-border movement of goods and services. This is a forum for economic cooperation, so they're taking care of all kinds of details. So this is having in each country these bodies to ensure standards. They've been seems working very strongly on this, and in the Brazil meeting they also addressed it. Okay.
Okay. در اعلامیه برزیلیا که از نشست رؤسای نهادهای ملی استانداردسازی بریکس بوده استقبال میکنیم که از جمله تاثیر روابط اقتصادی تجاری و پیشرفت ایمنی مصرف کننده و ترویج توسعه پایدار را به رسمیت میشناسد. یادداشت تفاهم در مورد همکاری در زمینه استانداردسازی رو تشویق میکنیم و همین استانداردسازی رو میخوان به وجود بیارن. Okay, 74.
All right. 74 refers to audits and governance, the exchange of best practices between the Supreme Audit Institution of the BRICS countries for promoting good governance and effectiveness of public policies. So they commend the continuous exchange of best practices between the Supreme Audit Institution of the BRICS, taking into account the role of those institutions in promoting good governance and effectiveness of public policy. They recognize the importance, taking full advantage of the opportunities offered by the digital technologies, including the AI, in their work, while minimizing the risk created by these technologies. Yeah, so being able to, yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
It's
ما تبادل مستمر بهترین شیوه های بین نهادهای عالی حسابرسی کشورهای بریکس رو تحسین میکنیم با در نظر گرفتن نقش SAIs. I looked it up, I don't remember what that was.
Supreme audit institution is what they meant, huh?
Oh, okay.
audit.
اثر بخش سیاست های عمومی. ما اهمیت استفاده کامل از SAIs رو از فرصت های ارائه شده توسط فناوری های دیجیتال و هوش مصنوعی در عین به حداقل رساندن خطرات به رسمیت میشناسیم. Okay, Nuri Jum, what were you saying?
This
SAIs? Were you saying something?
what it detail cooperation and between more than half of the world population. This
Okay, but again, these are placeholders. They're not effectively, working groups. Like they say, such and such zone, but you don't know what the zone is. It's like their thoughts, a lot of thoughts.
This is, I think the declarations are pretty much like that, but they have some groups going on working on those different topics.
Right.
There are many of these countries, different kind of regional bodies that
Right.
apply. Like there is the African Association, African countries. There are the Asian. So they know, and this is like for instance, the audits. Each country will have their own, autonomy, but it's exchanging best practices and having some common reference, what is being audited, what kind of policy with what kind of rules, what kind of criteria, is to little by little, although they are respecting everybody's sovereignty, but they can have some common criteria that will help the laws, but also the rules of exchange of products, and financial mechanism and all of that, so that they can evaluate the policies, the way they are doing things, and impacting their economies, etc. So it will be interesting to see in concrete what kind of audits they have had, what kind of reports they have had, what kind of best practices they have had and they have exchanged. And it's important that they make reference, because all of these countries now can take advantage of the digital technologies to ensure this kind of information flows. And it's in some, and also minimize risk. Like, when they have the standards for instance, some products, some qualities, to exchange the security of food, just to make sure that no country is taking advantage of some difficulty that the other may have had because of climate or some emergency, so that there is a real sense of cooperation and that they can assess that and measure somehow. So it seems to have a very well intended and purpose with good purpose, clear purpose on ways to go, and providing kind of a guidance to each of the countries on how to to go about these topics.
Okay, 75.
On the same, on the same philosophy and narrative, the same exchange of statistic practice, how they collect, what kind of information they collect, and facilitate the exchange of this information between the BRICS countries, and also to exchange best practices and probably also lessons learned, learning from their mistakes, but mostly, exchange what kind of methodologies, what kind of, they're using to measure and to have the statistics and to exchange the information among them.
Yep.
اوکی 75 با به رسمیت شناختن اهمیت آمار رسمی برای تصمیم گیری مؤثر با حمایت خود از تقویت همکاری آماری در داخل بریکس شامل انتشار سالانه نشریه آماری مشترک بریکس، همچنین تبادل بهترین شیوه ها در زمینه‌های آمار رسمی در کشورهای بریکس ابراز می‌کنیم. مثلا in case of Iran we know there is no central statistic organization. They definitely need such a thing, or if it exists, it's not public. I thought the Central Bank of Iran has the statistics, but
Yeah, well, among the BRICS, they can exchange some good practices and see, well, maybe if Iran wants to use that
maybe they
information,
learn what to
they can
do.
do it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's it for today.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe next time we will have more people joining, but I think it's
I
good
don't know.
exercise.
We've phased out.
That we as
I
a
don't
group
know.
get more very familiar with all of this is very, very important.
Yeah.
I don't know. People have disappeared, so
But this is 20 countries and more than 50% of the world population and space. More.
Yeah.
okay. I'm going to turn off the video. Okay, we can talk now. And stop presenting.
So you're not recording anymore.
Not recording, no.
Okay, so
We're
it's good,
only
it's
us.
good to be
We don't have
together.
anybody joining us. Should we even keep this up or drop it? I mean, on the one hand, Sajjadi didn't do shit. His guy took $7,000 and he's in Karbala with your money, Nurijun. So, and then there was the bombing. Everybody disappeared. A lot of people have disconnected their WhatsApp. And I don't know how they're communicating with each other. So today I had this Iranian, the woman who was married to an American guy. She showed up 1 minute left. Matani, I think she's having a baby. Sarah was in a meeting. She just got home. She texted me. But that's about it. Mojde Roy said, oh, I'm going to be so active and hasn't shown up.
Well, these kind of things are always happen in different groups. The people come and go, so don't get disappointed. Make the call as usual and saying, how much we are learning from reading all of this,
I
all
think
this
this is
process.
useful. This is useful work we're doing. And I think until there is another trip and there's more signing up people that can boost this whole thing.
I'm very curious about the process of the registration, if there is such a thing, or the association in Iran. I mean, I know here in our legal system, we create an association, people sign, and there is a public place where associations are recorded, with their name and their bylaws and all of
Yeah,
that.
but this
I
is
don't know
like
if such a thing
bullshit for Sajjadi to get money. That's it. Yeah, there is process. We looked up the process. He's actually
Has
this is
anything,
a logo for
just hold on a second, has any application been submitted?
no. He's just bullshitting. It's like everything is done. I'm like, what do you mean everything is done? I need details. What is everything? Are you vague? He
No,
got
has he offered
Adilia.
you copies of anything?
Listen for a minute. Listen. He calls you Adilia Caracas. Now, after so long, you don't know her name is not Caracas. He says, yeah, I need the title block for Wilf. We're not Wilf. We're Zisa. You don't know that after all this time? Even if you don't know that bullshit guy, he got all of our documents. He knows all that. Please get it for me.
Noreen, that's a good lesson. Whenever you want anything done, make sure you get a woman involved. Men are useless. I'm sorry, Alan, to say this, but when it comes to these things of, meticulous work, follow up, men seem to fail many, many times.
Yeah.
You need a woman there to take care of this for whatever reason, but that's the fact.
If I go to Iran, I can guarantee that I will register and do what we need to. I know it. Yeah. Even though I'm 84.
So, Nurijun, I want to propose you come here, okay? From here, go to Iran.
Okay. Yeah.
Seriously, what's the difference? Come here, we meet with Adelia, we have some meetings and
Oh,
hang out a little bit. If I get lucky, I sell my house.
I love that part of it.
Somebody's supposed to
Well, if
show
you
up
come
here.
here, you have to come to the ocean, where I am right now at, 5 minutes and, get some rest, some good massage, some, re-energize. You've been doing so much.
I would
Are
love.
you staying in Guanacaste for the whole summer?
No, I'm just staying here for a few weeks because my sister rented this house. And the new, the person that's going to live here, it's not coming until, the 20th. So I'm taking care of the house, basically, and working from here. Luckily, I have super good internet. So I'm working at a distance. And it's beautiful here. What can I say?
Good.
It's lovely.
Lovely.
Seriously, and I'm extending that to Amo Hassan. Like, you're going to Iran? Well, come here and then go to Iran.
You talk to him?
I talked to him this morning, yeah.
I wonder, there must be, I don't know if any of you have checked, there must be flights from Venezuela or from Brazil to Iran.
Yeah, I was checking because Iran has very good relation with Venezuela.
Yes.
I was
And,
checking.
and I assume being in the BRICS also with Brazil.
Yeah.
And it should be relatively easier to fly from there than going through to Europe. Or, I mean, who wants to go to the U.S. now, with these crazy people? I say may get you arrested for whatever, even tourists
I know.
get arrested.
So crazy. I know. You are right.
I don't, and besides, I don't think it's the best time for me to apply for a visa, so I couldn't go through if I go. But anyways, it could be interesting to find out if there are flights from Brazil
Yeah.
or from Venezuela. I suppose Venezuela may have flights directly to there.
Venezuela has a lot of things going on with Iran, so they must
Yeah.
have some.
And you,
But I mean, I couldn't find because the two agencies I used, they're American based, and they're like, we have no information about this destination. So.
I'm sure Iran would like to have a good relationship with Costa Rica. That's
Yeah,
what.
but,
I don't know why they
our
don't.
government right now is very, very submissive to the U.S.
Yeah.
They even, offer, that was ridiculous for the the government just got condemned by the Constitutional Court because they offer or they accepted to have over 200 migrants that Trump deported. So they put out people, Venezuelans, many of them, they're wandering around with their children because they used that space they had to bring all these people from all over the world who didn't even know Spanish, didn't know what happened, were suddenly separated from their families, didn't want to go back to their countries. It has been a very, very awful situation. And the court condemned the president for having done that. This is very violating of all human rights that Costa Rican has been respected for complying. And now all of a sudden this crazy president violates. So it's not a good administration. That's why I had to leave. I could only be there 2 years because it was impossible to continue with this kind of narratives and practices.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll have elections in February, and there is some change.
February. Good.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be a good political environment to talk about relations with Iran in this administration right now.
Well, as a whole, I really see that I'm pretty